Nobody has a whole end goal. And even if you think you do, you don't know what you're talking about. I think the hiring process is broken. That's how you get the right people in. There's no whole end goal. Nobody has a whole end goal. And even if you think you do, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, now this is where I'll get weird, Doug. What's your 10-year vision, right? I don't know. I think if you have a 10-year goal for yourself, you're thinking small. This is me being weird, Doug. This is against most people and do what I do. But I think if you have a 10-year goal for yourself, you're thinking small. If you think about who you were 10 years ago, to imagine that that person could predict where you are right now is ridiculous. So what makes you think that all of a sudden now you can plan your next 10 years perfectly? You have no idea. So you have a mission, like I want to help entrepreneurs. How am I going to do it? I don't know, like I'm doing YouTube right now. In 5 years, YouTube may not be a thing. Or maybe I get bored of it. And now it's hologram Evan beaming into your living room. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 5 or 10 years, but it's going to be important. Follow that gut feeling and be around it. So step one is go work with people who are in real estate. Like, if you have a job, or if you're working 4 jobs, great. Like, work jobs in areas that where you're going to learn something. Not just a paycheck, but you're learning. So you're making mistakes on somebody else's dime, right? So you want to be around the area, and then opportunities will show up. The plan you start with is almost never the plan that you end with. BMW, their logo is an airplane propeller because they sold airplanes. That's how they started. The BMW logo, the blue and white, it's airplane propeller. Wrigley's, local company, started off selling baking soda. For every baking soda sold, they give you some soap as a free sample. And then people loved the soap, so they got into the soap business. And then he said, oh, I'm going to sell soap now. And then for every soap you bought, I give you some gum. And then people loved the gum. So it became a gum company. And then Wrigley's became the gum company. So like the plan you start with, you don't know where you're going to be in 10 years. But how do you get experience? You go do the thing. It doesn't mean do stupid things. Don't jump out of an airplane with no parachute. That's stupid. You're going to splat, right? But if you want to be a parachute jumper, then get as close to that world as possible, right? So then you can start taking your jumps. So you want to be in the world of real estate as much as possible, right? You want to go be, if you have a job, now go quit that job and go work at a real estate company.
Like I'm going to start a media business, and I don't have a problem like outsourcing for logos, book covers, ghostwriters, the outline and everything like that. I did find a virtual assistant. She sucked, so I had to fire her. And so now I got to start the process all over again. And so I've always found that that's my stumbling block.
So yes, I mean, you did a good step in that you need to bring somebody on,
right,
so that it's not you doing it,
right?
And that's for everybody. Like I don't like editing, so I hired an editor. My first hire was an editor for the YouTube business. But maybe she didn't suck. Maybe your hiring process sucks.
Right, that too.
I think the hiring process is broken. So I made a video, it's called The Hiring Process is Broken. There's a broken eggshell on there that you guys can watch. But in a nutshell, how I'll lead is I'll make it one, are you posting like online? Or
Yeah, online, please.
Okay, great. So I make it one big ugly paragraph, first of all. My job ad is one big ugly paragraph, giant. Because I want people to be detail oriented. Because I'm not always the most detail oriented. So I want my people to be detail oriented, right? It'll always lead with the mission. Here's what I believe in entrepreneurs. Here's what that means to me. And some people will look at that and say, that's the stupidest thing ever. Oh, I thought you were just hiring somebody to edit videos. Great, like don't apply. It's not the place for you, right? You'll be happy somewhere else. And other people will look at that and say, holy cow, like this is amazing. I'm going to work harder to get this job. Right? So you lead with the mission, why you do what you do. It's not just, if you can connect, you're asking someone to come in and do grunt work. If you can connect their grunt work to having a purpose somehow, you win their heart and soul, not just their minds. So you have to figure out what is your mission, what are you here to do, and you bring on people who believe the same thing you believe. Next, I always, now it's like super tactical, in the middle of my paragraph, I'll always lead with I have a question like, tell me how many YouTube subscribers I have, and put that in your first line of your job application. 80% of people don't do that because they never read the thing. Because they saw video editor and they just apply. It takes them 8 seconds to apply, and it takes you 5 minutes to read through each of their thing. I think that ratio is messed up. So if they don't lead with the thing I asked them to do, then I don't even read their thing. I don't care if they have the best profile of all time. They didn't actually read the job ad, so I don't want them. That cuts out 80% of the people. Some people will then say, well, tell me your YouTube channel and I'll tell you how many subscribers you have. Like, well, if you can't go to YouTube and type Evan Carmichael, like, right? I'm okay with any of them, right? But I need someone who's going to be resourceful, right? So already that cuts another 5%. So now you got 15% of the people who applied actually make it through the next step. Already I'm saving a whole bunch of time because I'm feeling your pain of having to go through this whole process again. It sucks. This makes it easier. So now you have 15%. Then I hire them on a paid trial, especially if you're hiring someone overseas that you're not going to be able to be with. I hire them on a paid trial that I think will take them a max of 2 hours to do, and I give them up to 5 hours to do it. Paid. So why? Well, one, I don't do any job interview. There's no interviews. I think you're looking for the wrong skill. Like Christina, my video editor, her ability to ace an interview has nothing to do with her ability to make a video for me. She might be the most introverted, nerdy person of all time and get anxiety doing interviews. Great, I don't need you to talk to people. I need you to make videos. Now, if it's a sales role or something, maybe, right? But the skill that you want somebody to do is somebody to sit there and grind it out and get work done and be efficient. How well they, like English might be their second language. They might be nervous being in front of a camera. Like all that has nothing to do unless they're doing interviews for a living, which they're not. So I do 0 interviews. We work on something together. I'll give you up to 5 hours. I think it should take you 2. If you take 5 hours, either one, you're just super slow, or you're milking me because you billed me the full 5 hours. Either way, I don't want you. I don't want to have to micromanage somebody and say, how many hours were you doing and what did you do in each? It's not going to work for me. It's not my management style. And in that process, you find somebody who is asking you good questions, who does the work that you're asking them to do. And inevitably, I always get 1 or 2 people who then do more than what's required. So Christina, who's been my editor for the past, 6 years or something, I hired through this process. And I said, make a video like this, which was the best video that I could do on my own, right? And so I gave her up to 5 hours to do it. She did the task. She said, here's what you asked me to do, but it kind of sucks the way you've been doing it. So I spent a little more time and I did it better. But here's both, right? It's like, I like this woman, right? And so I hired her, right? And now I've hired her husband, and now we've hired her husband and her friend, and so it's grown, but that's how you get the right people in. It's so terrifying to go and do the whole process over again because you're wasting so much of your time to get to somebody. Like the traditional job interview process takes so long that now it has to work out, or it's terrifying to go start all over again. So you'd rather stick with a just okay employee, right? But most of that process is broken. So that's like a quick overview, but if you look for that video, hiring process is broken, with an eggshell that's broken on the front. I go through it in more detail. But yeah, super important. But you need to get that off your plate.
Right.
You need to be moving to higher value. When you're involved in it, you're getting paid more because it's your time.
Exactly.
And then when it's just doing uploading, copy, paste, boring stuff, that's billed out at a lower rate and you have somebody else do it. Yeah, but you have to find that person. The answer isn't, most people suck at hiring anyway because it's your first time anyway, so don't worry about it. It's very rare that the first employee at a company sticks around for 20 years. Go look at any company and look at who employee number 1 was and see if they're still in the company. It just doesn't happen. So you don't know how to hire yet. It's okay. It's great. It's your first time. But a lot of entrepreneurs just then go back and say, okay, well, forget it. I'm just going to do everything myself, which isn't the answer either. Because then you're just stuck selling your 24 hours. That's all you got. So you have to figure out that loop. So doing the event in Chicago was definitely a team effort, and I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who helped promote the event. And if you want to see what we do next in Detroit, go check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.